Locking down for the video with Silver. Well, it's about time you lazy UHE.
Hello again, independent media enjoyers and/or haters.
Sweeps!
I have a question for all of you. Does anyone else think the term indie is losing its meaning and becoming a buzzword for marketing hot garbage by corpos and frauds? Join me today as I finally yap your ear off about my disgruntled mood with the independent media scene. So let's just hop right into it, shall we? As I said in the beginning of my Fred Venture video, we're living in the age of the independent artists being more successful than corporate-controlled garbage. Do you remember when Lethal Company outsold Modern Warfare 3? Yeah, this is the world we're living in. A furry solo dev outsold a AAA studio and now has a Fortnite skin. Like, how lucky can a guy get? Now Lethal Company is irrelevant thanks to people making clone games with flavors, like Content Warning and Repo were just another flavor of the month, to be honest, and fall under the term friend slop. Being games made to be played with your personal friend group or whatever, and then after a few sessions, never to be played ever again. Now I'm just waiting for Repo to get a clone of itself with more content on release, then people are gonna flock to it and forget about the whole funny text-to-speech cliff farming robot game.
Hello!
If that does happen, I'm gonna be a little sad, because Repo does have a lot of potential with its gravity gun-based gameplay. You know what I mean, a little pickup thing they do with the arms and whatnot. This video has been in development for so long, they're now in Fortnite too. What the hell? Problem I started to notice is how the term indie feels less about independent creators and more about marketing, either being used by corpo giants like Amazon and Roku to ship out slop, or be a shield towards criticism, so brain-dead fans will harass you for daring to dislike a product because, guys, you need to support indie creators, guys. No. When at points it doesn't even feel like they're the little guy anymore, have joined the establishment or have become their own establishment. Feeling just as cheap and lifeless as any other corporate garbage out there, but giving out the same quality products that are already being made by big-name studios. Like with a certain show being partnered and showed by one of the most biggest multimedia empires next to Disney, and people will still say its trash spin-off is still indie despite being attached to a show on a giant streaming service, getting backup funds for means other than just self-funded merchandise. Oh wait, it's on Amazon now too, with
The quirky animation about supporting indie creators.
Oh my god!
and it adds changes to the episodes for re-release. And they now have a Splinter studio in Australia and are making a Homestuck series. Even the Sharpie Huffers thought its pilot sucked.
Animation takes a long time.
keyboard.
Yeah, I'm just gonna cut to the chase and talk about the company that's making the most overglazed independent media out there. I think Glitch majorly sucks, and its spotlight shows are quirky, chungus, epic IndieSlop, the same levels as modern Disney Channel trash.
No! You cannot say that!
Really?
Why am I here for this bit?
I'm going to talk about my thoughts about the company itself later, because that's completely different, but holy cow, I cannot get why people like Murdrones and Digital Circus other than, look at the animation frames, whoa, so smooth, while they're not really moving at all.
And my favorite characters are wholesome being.
Or because it was shilled by every other major armchair critic cartoon reviewer with a critical analysis of a burnt potato.
Independent creators just killing it. Again, I can't applaud it enough. I'm here for it. In a day and age where we feel so much fear for the creative...
Let me tell you how much I've come to hate you since I began to live.
Well, how many videos Sabersparks made glazing IndieSlop with no critical analysis whatsoever? You can't tell me he wasn't paid under the table to shield this shit. For God's sakes, he was on one of the Glitch's circle jerking streams with Senior Pello. There has to be some indie cabal going on here. Now, how much adrenochrome do you think they all individually take?
The goyim know, and we can't shut him down.
A show yet, I'm already injecting my venom. Okay, I get that the audience for these shows are mainly Tumblr teenagers and middle schoolers, but half of this shit just feels like key jiggling with shitty English anime dub voice actor levels of performances.
Who said it doesn't work? Maybe it does!
The first time I tried watching Murdrones, I couldn't stand the first episode with all of its "how do you do, fellow kids" and millennial humor dialogue. For example, ironically, unironically using the term
Toxic masculinity.
Also, I'm an angsty teen fad, bite me.
It's trying way too hard to be funny every time it gets a chance by using terms and slang with no real build-up. And when What's-His-Face, voiced by Indie Chris Pratt, came on screen, I think his name was N, and I found him so annoying I wanted to hit him with a truck at 100 miles per hour. Talk about a bad first impression. I already want to see one of the main characters get thrown to a trash compactor. Then later on in the episode, I see what it's trying to set up with the robots questioning what the company that built them is going to do to them after their mission of eliminating the worker bots is over. It finally gets a moment to slow down and not throw its humor at you every 12 seconds, and then the fight scene happens and we get more of that self-aware humor that's trying way too hard. Guys, it says best monologue ever.mp3 on this character's screen face. What was her name? Uzi, like the Israeli machine pistol, saying,
"Put that conventionally attractive male down.
Put that conventionally attractive male down. Put that conventionally attractive male down. Put that conventionally attractive male down.
Put that conventionally attractive male down. Robot fanfiction. Trash.
The only peak about this is how it feels like peak Bandkid humor. Like, was there nobody saying to slow it down with this kind of dialogue or throwing out a punchline that isn't just,
That was weird.
Oh my goodness, this is awful!
Terrible.
Yeesh, people say my mimetic YTP humor is annoying, and then they watch this schlock.
Cause she's a
Okay, maybe I'm being too hard on this. After all, this is the first episode, so maybe this series does get better as it goes on. When going into episode 2, there's what seems to be a flashback scene with the murder bots being worker bots in this old mansion, and there's a party going on, and ooh, this is actually starting to look interesting. I'm surprised to say that I didn't hate it as much as episode 1. It actually tried building up its underlying plot more and had less of that god-awful humor in the first episode, but by a large margin, it's still insufferable at times, as that's merely due to its safe, edgy lines and silly voice acting.
This is probably you weirdo's fault.
I've never seen that symbol before.
Wanna do an autopsy to find out?
You're not scary. You're just weird.
I think the show does a good job setting up its horror elements and overall mystery of what's happening with the weird absolute solver entity and what it's doing to Uzi, turning her into some vampire flesh robot thingy. Doesn't really excuse all the tonal whiplash, the glaring plot holes, and how hasty the main plot feels. Why are the disassembly bots allowed to be around the worker bots in episode 4 like they don't have a history of maiming them? Why is death treated seriously sometimes and the next moment a punchline for a visual gag?
I guess that's it.
It's like the show doesn't know what it wants to be at times. A perversely told horror story about mankind's neglect and hubris coming back to bite them in their own scented creations via a planet-eating eldritch monstrosity.
We're trying to be hip with the kids while there's super relatable moments and quirky slang, bro. Not monotonous and overstays its welcome.
Oh, hell yeah. I'm a damaged OC.
Kill yourself.
Now do you see my point with how bad the dialogue for this show can be? And most of the meaningful character development happens right at the end of the series. and does feel more than a stereotypical socially awkward loser around episode 5, but it's so light you notice him standing up for himself right at the end of the series, and meanwhile Uzi got way more focused with her powers, her background lore, how it affects her. They're both main characters, by the way, but one gets way more focus. I mean, I did like the last 2 episodes and felt the build-up for them was good. I just wish this series had more time to flesh itself out rather than a measly 8 episodes. I was surprised that Tessa was just Sin in a flesh suit. Like, I did expect Sin to be Tessa, but I'm not really sure if I'm surprised as a plot twist or a rushed writing choice. There's also a lot of blinking you'll miss at plot points in the background explaining stuff. Like, I had to get one of my buds who's way more into this lore to elaborate shit to me. Like, the Solver is the eldritch entity that's using Sin as a personality slash host to talk through. And the Solver itself raises even more questions, especially with the ending with Sin being inside Uzi's body as this little tail thing. Way to go to end your series with more plot threads that will never be answered, unless you count a Living Tombstone music video. Look, call me back when this has less millennial and band kid humor and knows when to balance out with serious and funny moments. And gets double the amount of episodes in the last season, cause Liam Bickers can do a lot with his setting if he decides to fully lock in and make a season 2. I mean, you got a graphic novel with art from the guys that did the Power Rangers comics, and that's just a retelling of the series, like, okay. Let's just hope Glitch doesn't do more character assassination with shit like this.
Come over here and kiss me on my hot mouth.
Well, if Murder surprised me after its first episodes being a train wreck, you know what didn't surprise me at all?
Welcome to the overly obvious Circus! I am not doing a full parody intro, get bent!
Mega faggot.
Despite its first episode not scaring me off, Digital Circus has been one of the most overhyped, overglazed, overshielded pseudo-indie cartoons out there.
You gotta be fucking kidding.
Everybody says this show is deep and engaging, and to be honest, it really isn't that deep at all. It's very on the nose and blunt with storytelling. The show throughout all of its mystery and foreshadowing at episode 1 with an exit plot point, and every episode after feels like wacky things are happening, and then overdramatic trauma dumping scene for light character development. The feels so ham-fisted you can see future plot points in the ending from a continent away.
I don't want a career in fast food. I want to be a comic artist and eventually launch my own manga-inspired webcomic. And it's cool to have dreams.
Hilarious and relatable.
Why are you so fucking negative all the time?
video somehow. It's not a Silverfox 1232 video about me talking about this kind of crap. I know about the Gooseworks EPI thing thanks to the Funny Man with Glasses site and Carl Sama's video about it, and while my chud senses are tingling and my gut is telling me to say the P word, there's only like one screenshot of this. I know your disappointment, Chuddies, but it's hard to believe if it's true. Even the soy wiki mentions it's yet to be confirmed. There's no ages, there's no full DMs, or knowledge of Goose even knowing the person is a minor or not. Not to mention dudes making inspect elements for cheap rage bait.
You know who I'm talking about.
Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to undermine this or defend Goose from this allegation. It's just, if this is true, it should be handled by pros and not gay YouTubers looking for cheap clout like me. All I gotta say, Chuddies, is keep your eyes open. I wouldn't be surprised, especially with the King of Voice Actors controversies. Oh my god. That's a feral Luxray. Okay, back on track to my major point. Glitch's show is feeling rushed and unfocused. Metarunner at least had 3 seasons to flesh out, and that was Glitch's first major show, and to be real, I dropped it right after season 1. It didn't really interest me. Something about esports, cyberpunk, that Tari girl being a robot, I don't really remember all that well, but I heard it was alright show. My point is, these runs and ham-fisted humor are concerning for Glitch's future. For example, their new show, Gaslight District, shows a lot of potential in places, but I think this is the first time I've ever seen people criticize a Glitch production show without having a mob of indie yes-men dislike bombing them. The pilot sets up a lot of plot threads and doesn't answer them right away like digital shit-ass, but goddamn does this show suffer from a pacing issue. It's got way too much to say in a short amount of time. Focus on the main plot and side plot, please. It feels like a soap opera how much it bounces all over the place. Action scene here, plot bait here, shitty attempt at humor there. Seriously, why did we need a goofy little song for the cement boots bit? family bonding scene here with the main character and her father that's actually a really good slowdown. Wait, we're in heaven now, and this bank heist trying to steal an egg. The rapture happened. The main character is this human homunculus angel thing that can bring the end of everything.
What?
I mean, the show does look interesting, but it really needs to learn to focus and not cram so much stuff into one episode.
Pain is...
Along with also suffering from Glitch's trademark humor. Now, to a certain somebody in the audience, you might be saying,
What about SMT4?
Babies!
oh, you mean that Mario 64 Machinima skit show that had vulgar 2010 humor that started adding a bunch of various glub shittos such as Annoying Glub, Mary Sue Glub,
Will from afar, the only good one.
Anime Stereotype 1 Glub,
Anime Stereotype 2 Glove.
Chasington Bait.
Planet Dolan.
It just evolved into Cocomelon content farm trash. Almost every joke is just wiggling a Gmod ragdoll around and acting like it's animation or an existing popular meme, but doing the equivalent of putting a scotch tape cutout of some fugly OC's face over it and acting like it's your own joke. Compare that to their older episodes where they were more transformative with that kind of humor, you know, like taking bits from Smosh episodes, like clips or whatever, using them as sound effects, rather than just copying the whole Smosh skit word for word, bit by bit. I also think I just grew out of this stuff. I can't stand like the whole entire and all the fucking sound effects they do over and over and over again instead of actual dialogue. What was Little Silver thinking when watching this crap?
You need to grow up.
There are so many videos going in depth about how SMG4 fell off from this funny haha Mario 64 Gmod Machinima channel into, well, generic YouTube kids content right next to Ryan's world. I'm just gonna do another lazy YouTuber link a lot of those videos in the description because I do not give a flying fuck about modern SMG4.
I miss the old Kanye, straight from the gold Kanye. Chop up the soul Kanye, set on his goals Kanye.
All I gotta say to end this segment of the video is, I think anybody who unironically uses SMG4 reaction GIFs is too young to use any social media, and deserves to be shot.
Drug out into the street and shot.
Hey, good animation equals good product, and that is that. Don't actually think about the media, just consume it. The car keys go jingle, jingle, jingle as we constantly get your attention with unfunny, quirky Chunkus humor. Buy an overpriced plushie while you're at it, just consume product. Go to Japan and buy the digital Circus Jax burger. Play the so retro Mario Kart ripoff we hired Bunlift Bloodborne PS1 to make. With graphics so ugly and unfaithful to the original hardware, and makes your neoclinic want to explode. How dare you dislike indie products, sir? Don't you know you're literally committing murder when you do that? I'm sorry, but you clearly are a miserable nigga when seeing people liking things, and you lack joy and whimsy. Good day.
Yo, is this person fucking retarded?
Yes, she's retarded. Is that the answer you're looking for? She's retarded?
Is really fucking pathetic. Another thing I noticed with Spindle and Glitch fans is that they are just unwilling to interact with anything else in the independent art scene. What, can't mention Monkey Wrench, the third runner-up that doesn't have some indie company behind it, or corpo handholding either? It's made by a bunch of Newgrounds dudes that know when to blend comedy, lore, and action bits together without feeling annoying. They know how to do pacing. And the only sin it's committed is having Doobus Goobus in one episode, and that guy's crime is being unfunny as fuck.
Kill.
Too afraid to mention the simplicity of Flash Git's Warhammer 40k parody Space King? Let me guess, because you're a furry and it doesn't like it when people make fun of you, or he made the relic known as Racist Mario.
Wah, he made edgy animation. This is my safe, wholesome, safe edgy.
At least Flashkiss doesn't jerk off Amazon or Epic Games to get funding. The guy literally parades around and he's self-funded and actively rejects sponsors. Mad fucking respect, dude. I mean, I guess a small criticism I could do for Space King is that it feels a bit too overtly simplistic and it beats the same joke of heresy of Space Marine over and over again. No, don't get me wrong, I think Space King has its moments and it's a great step in the right direction for indie animation. I just wish it could stand up for the same dead, beaten 40k joke that every single Redditor is milked over and over again, that are being based once in a while. Look at this shit. This dude makes a good video criticizing Knights of Guinevere, and a bunch of sycophant 12-year-old Glitch fans dislike bomb him. Again, how are we not in an indie dark age again? And don't get me started with what Wastelania fans did to Oh Yeah's video, like, holy crap, look at his ratio, like, damn, you thought he was harsh on this shit? You know what's the hardest part about this video? Figuring out a way to end it. There is irony about me making this video and having a comic that never went anywhere, but did I quit? No. I still draw stuff and have ideas for things I want to do besides making videos complaining or calling the next big shot YouTuber mid. I have designed stuff. I've designed characters for an indie game. By the way, Play for Adventure and its sequel Alliance if you really care about independent artists. The game is basically made by one dude, Albeit Alien. Sub to him on YouTube as well. And I'm still working on the designs for another friend's comic. You know, Roy, his comic, Silent Wind's Camino. And then there's some Star Fox Event Horizon fan thing I want to do, and a shonen comic about some vampire sheriff. But enough of my hobbies and chivalry, get back to my point. So in my advice, don't ever quit, no matter what dudes say, because if you quit, you fail, and don't be ever afraid to say that something sucks either. Listen to what people have to say and why they're saying it sucks. Learn from it. Don't fully ignore critics because dudes can get mean. Harsh critics exist for a reason. There's a difference between a person being a dick-ass troll and saying something sucks to get attention, and then there's a person actually concerned about a product's quality. And if you honestly enjoy any of the things I mentioned in this video, fine. If you don't treat Digital Circus like the second coming of Christ or Has Been Helluva as just a guilty pleasure, fine, I legitimately do not care. How do you think I have any ground to stand on for not liking slop? I'm playing Fallout 76 in this footage. It's just my dumb fun game.
How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man?
I love the young people.
Definition of insanity is insanity is doing the exact same fucking thing over and over again, expecting shit to change. That is crazy.